Yeah, so after doing the test on the personality, I was identified as a debater. So a debater is really like your mind is constantly like thinking, analyzing stuff, and just trying to think in a point of view of looking at facts and afterwards discussing about certain facts and certain ideas. And I agree with that. Like, I like having discussions. I like debating on stuff, to be honest. I frankly like to be. I frankly like to be the one who's right most of the time, even though sometimes I'm not right. So I would agree with that. And what a debater can bring, like in at the workplace and like in groups, for example, not even just at workplace, but like in sports team and everything, is just I asked the AI, and like they say communicate strong communication skills, and I agree. Like when you debate, like you definitely like use your words, and sometimes there's a good way of using words. Approach them like in another way, let's say more neutral, or sometimes you want to be aggressive, just being direct. So it really depends on the situation. And also critical thinking. Through critical thinking, being able to approach something in an unbiased way when you debate. Like I said, just analyzing facts and everything, that's definitely something that is useful at the workplace. And honestly, I kind of feel that way about myself. Like I like to I try to be the less biased possible. Just try to just analyze everything. And another thing that I thought was interesting was they also said persuasion and negotiation skills. And I couldn't agree more. Like, if you're able to debate and you're able to talk to people, you're definitely going to be able at some point to just like being able to negotiate and sell something. For example, like you see good salesmen, they always have the right approach, and they always try to like bring up some points that they agree and persuade someone into, let's say, buy a new car or something like that. So I definitely think having that type of personality is really useful, especially in sales. Like I'd say by a lot, like that's probably one of the biggest ones, like just performance wise. So that's really the thing I could bring to the table with my personality. The challenges, though, that AI said, and I actually agree with most of them, is emotional intensity. Sometimes in debates, it could hype up, and the temper could just go up and up and up, and people kind of like forget about like the emotion standpoints. Like at the end of the day, you're just talking to someone else. Like you're debating on something, but like you should always be respectful. So that's definitely something, like especially if you're kind of like you want to be right, you want to win that argument or that debate, like it can sometimes get out of hand. And then they also said narrow focus. So as much as you could bring critical thinking when you have debate personality, you could definitely like have a more narrow focus and only focus on kind of like the stuff like you want to see, and not see what you don't want to see. Kind of like if something is let's say someone you're working at a car dealership, and someone gives you an objection. Like sometimes you're kind of just gonna lie to yourself and like just not try to not really look at that aspect. So like you say your product is really nice, and then someone gives you an objection, and you kind of like your focus wasn't on that. So that could definitely be a struggle. And then the last one was just argument fatigue. Like just if at some point you always have the same arguments, and could definitely be just mental exhaustion, just always being like argumenting and everything. So that's another one. But overall, like I'd say I agree, like to my test. Like I think I'm actually more of a debater, and I actually love sales and stuff like that, persuasion. So I definitely agree with the test.